High above the village, Mount Serenity stood as a silent guardian. Its snow-capped peak pierced the heavens, a beacon of untamed beauty. For Maya, it was more than just a mountain. It was a symbol of her aspirations, a testament to the strength she knew resided within her. Since childhood, she had dreamt of standing atop its summit, of feeling the world stretch out beneath her. Maya's heart quickened every time she gazed upon Mount Serenity's imposing silhouette. She felt an inexplicable pull, an urge to conquer not just the physical challenge it presented, but also the mountains she carried within her own soul. The villagers often spoke of Mount Serenity with a mixture of awe and apprehension. But Maya refused to be deterred. Her heart belonged to the mountain, and she knew that her spirit yearned to dance with the clouds. News of Maya's ambitions spread through the village like wildfire. There were murmurs of concern, hushed whispers questioning her sanity. The elders, their faces etched with years of wisdom, cautioned her against the climb. They spoke of unforeseen dangers, of the mountain's unforgiving nature. "The mountain does not discriminate," Maya warned the village elder, his voice raspy with age. Despite their apprehensions, Maya refused to let their doubts extinguish the fire that burned within her. She knew the climb would be arduous, fraught with uncertainty, but she was determined to prove them wrong. Their skepticism only fueled her resolve. Each word of caution a stepping stone on her path to proving not only to them, but also to herself, that she was capable of achieving the extraordinary. With a heart full of hope and a backpack laden with supplies, Maya embarked on her journey. The air was crisp and clean, carrying with it the scent of pine and the melody of birdsong. The early morning sun cast long shadows as she made her way through the foothills. The initial ascent was a tranquil affair, a gentle communion with nature's serene embrace. As days melted into nights, the terrain grew increasingly treacherous. The paths narrowed, winding their way up steep inclines and around treacherous bends. Yet Maya pressed on, her determination an unyielding force against the mounting challenges. The solitude of the climb offered moments of quiet reflection, interspersed with bouts of loneliness that threatened to consume her. One day, as the sun began its descent, the sky transformed from a tranquil blue to a brooding grey. The wind, once a gentle caress, morphed into a ferocious beast, howling through the peaks and valleys. A blizzard descended upon Mount Serenity with a vengeance, blanketing the landscape in a thick shroud of white. Caught in the heart of the storm, Maya struggled to maintain her footing. The wind whipped at her face, biting at any exposed skin. Fear, cold and sharp, gnawed at the edges of her resolve. Huddled beneath a rocky overhang, seeking refuge from the biting wind, Maya felt a wave of despair wash over her. For the first time since setting out on her journey, Maya allowed herself to question everything. As the storm raged on, Maya closed her eyes, seeking solace from the tempestuous world outside. In the darkness of her mind, memories flickered to life. She saw her grandmother's face etched with the wisdom of a life lived with quiet strength. She heard her grandmother's voice, soft yet resolute, telling her, "Maya, my dear, you are stronger than you know." These memories, imbued with love and unwavering belief, washed over Maya, warming her from the inside out. She recalled moments from her childhood, instances where she had faced her fears head-on and emerged victorious. Each memory, a testament to her own resilience, fueled the embers of determination that flickered within her. The storm outside raged on, but within her heart a different kind of fire was being rekindled. It was the fire of self-belief, of knowing that she was not defined by her doubts, but by her courage to face them. The mountain may have tested her physically, but it was in these moments of vulnerability that Maya truly discovered the depth of her inner strength. The blizzard raged for 3 days and 3 nights, a relentless assault on both the mountain and Maya's spirit. But as quickly as it had arrived, the storm abated. Emerging from her shelter, Maya took a deep breath, her lungs filling with the crisp, cold air. Her body ached, her muscles screamed in protest, and the cold had seeped into her very bones. Yet, as she gazed upon the snow-covered landscape, a renewed sense of purpose coursed through her. The storm had tested her limits, pushing her to the brink of despair. But it had also revealed a strength she never knew she possessed. Standing there amidst the hushed beauty of the mountain, Maya made a silent promise to herself. She would honor the memory of her grandmother, the spirit of the mountain, and the fire that burned brightly within her own heart. With a deep breath, Maya began to move. Every step was a victory, every muscle protesting but pushing forward nonetheless. After what felt like an eternity, Maya finally stood at the foot of the final ascent. The air was thin, each breath a precious commodity. The summit, once a distant dream, was now tantalizingly close. Looking up at the treacherous slope that lay before her, Maya felt a surge of emotions wash over her. Taking a deep breath, Maya began the final push. The climb was arduous, each movement a testament to her unwavering determination. Her muscles screamed, her lungs burned, but Maya refused to yield, and then, finally, she pulled herself up onto the summit. Standing there, on the roof of the world, Maya felt a wave of euphoria wash over her. She had conquered Mount Serenity, but more importantly, she had conquered the doubts and fears that had once held her captive. As Maya stood on the summit, basking in the glow of her accomplishment, a profound sense of peace settled over her. The world seemed to fall silent. The only sounds were the gentle whisper of the wind and the steady beating of her own heart. Below her, the clouds swirled and danced, creating ever-changing patterns against the azure canvas of the sky. From her vantage point, high above the world, Maya saw everything with a new clarity. The challenges she had faced, the doubts she had overcome, they all seemed smaller now, less significant. The world seemed full of possibilities, and she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought her to this point. Up on that peak, surrounded by the boundless sky, Maya realized that the true victory lay not in reaching the summit, but in the journey itself. The mountain had tested her, pushed her to her limits, and forced her to confront her deepest fears. As the sun began its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of orange, pink, and purple, Maya knew it was time to begin her descent. With a final, lingering glance at the breathtaking vista, she turned and began to make her way down the mountain. The descent, though less physically demanding than the ascent, presented its own set of challenges. Loose rocks threatened to give way beneath her feet, and the steep slopes required careful navigation, yet Maya moved with a newfound confidence. She had faced her fears, tested her limits, and emerged victorious. The mountain had taught her valuable lessons about perseverance, self-belief, and the importance of staying true to one's dreams. With each step she took, Maya felt a sense of gratitude for the journey and a deep respect for the power and majesty of Mount Serenity. The journey had been hers alone, and the victory, both internal and external, belonged solely to her. Returning to the village, Maya was met with a mix of awe and disbelief. The villagers who had once doubted her sanity now looked upon her with newfound respect. They had witnessed her transformation firsthand. Gone was the timid girl who had set out to conquer the mountain. In her place stood a confident young woman, her eyes sparkling with wisdom, her spirit radiating an inner strength that could not be denied. The journey had changed Maya in ways she had never imagined. She had faced her fears, pushed past her limits, and discovered a wellspring of strength she never knew she possessed. The villagers gathered around her, eager to hear about her adventure. Maya's story spread throughout the land, carried on the wind like a whispered prayer. She became a symbol of hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within us all. Her journey inspired others to face their own mountains, to chase their dreams with unwavering determination, and to never give up on themselves. Years later, long after Maya had grown old and her hair had turned silver, people would still speak her name with reverence. They would point to Mount Serenity and tell their children and grandchildren the story of the courageous young woman who had dared to dream big and who had, against all odds, achieved the extraordinary. Maya's legacy lived on, not just in the annals of the village's history, but in the hearts of all those she had inspired.